Good afternoon, podcast listeners. Thanks for joining us today on the Travel Insider. My name is Kat Johnson, and I am with Expedia Cruises OVC. I have the pleasure of sitting down today with Andy Fuentes from Atlas Ocean Voyages. Thanks for joining me today.
Hi, Kat. Thank you very much for having me.
I'm so excited to talk about Atlas for two reasons. One, I think they're so beautiful and they go to such amazing places. But two, you just came back from an epic trip and I can't wait to hear all about it. So super excited to learn all about your experiences on Atlas. But for those of our listeners who haven't heard of Atlas or maybe who don't know a lot about Atlas, can you give us a little rundown?
Sure. So, Atlas Ocean Voyages is the perfect marriage of a yacht and expedition. It's less than 200 passengers, so it's very intimate experience on board. But it goes to a lot of the seaside destination, remote areas such as Antarctica, where it just came from. It has posh service. You're not going to sacrifice any of the comforts that you're used to, but at the same time, it's not too over the top. It's more relaxed. It's more at your own pace, and the service is just phenomenal on board.
And you have currently 3 yachts in service, is that correct?
That's right. We have the Navigator that was launched in 2021. We have World Traveler that was launched in 2022, and World Voyager that was launched in 2023, and they're all new builds. So we didn't refurbish them or anything like that. They are fresh out of the wrapper, not even 3 years old just yet.
Awesome. And you have some more coming up in the future. So there's a great future ahead for Atlas Ocean Voyages. You also, I hear that you have like a 1-to-1 guest to staff ratio on board. Is that true?
That is very true. The guests and the crew, they form this bond on board, and the crew really gets to know you. For example, when I went to the dining room on the second and third day, my favorite drink was already waiting for me right at the spot that I usually sit in the dining room. When I went to the Atlas Lounge, where this is where I am virtually on the Atlas Lounge, when I sat down, the bartender already knew who I was, what type of drinks that I like. So, and the stateroom attendant really knew about my habits as far as how many towels I needed, what my mini fridge was, what I like my mini fridge to be stocked with. So they really get to know you, and that is the type of service that you expect of a luxury brand.
Absolutely. And then all of now Atlas is designed to take you to interesting and unique destinations that some of these larger ships really don't necessarily fit into. And so because of that, I'm assuming there's a whole lot of windows on board. Is that true?
Yeah, so all of us, so I would say that you have the outside coming in. So for example, like right here in the Atlas Lounge, we have we have large windows, same thing on the reception. The best side in house, actually, there's two places. One is going to be the observation lounge, floor to ceiling windows, 270-degree view of everything, and as well as the water side area, which you are kind of right there, kind of in the water line that you can see, especially Antarctica and the Arctic. You can see a lot of the animals that are around our vessel.
Now, it's a smaller ship, so less people able to get into some of these unique ports, but you really don't sacrifice anything on the ship size.
No, you don't, and that's really for me that it's like that's a big plus. On a yacht, you embarkation debarkation is about 15 minutes, and that is from ground to stateroom. 15 minutes. Check-in is really fast. You don't have to wait in lines. You don't have to wait in security or anything like that. It's kind of just quick in. Take your picture, get your stateroom key, and then off you go. Same thing with debarkation. When you're called up, you wait in line, you kind of scan in and you go into the bus. That's it. Or you get off and go to your transfer. That's really is the process when embarkation debarkation. But the staterooms are large, 275 square feet and
Mhm.
larger. You have these huge public areas. You have the restaurants in Antarctica. You have about two restaurants, but when you go to warm water itineraries such as Europe, then there are more options for a restaurant. And again, it's the obvious because of weather. I like the restaurants in itself because it's not a set time. There's no reservations required. It's basically when you're hungry, just come on in. If you want to keep it casual, we do have places for you. If you want even wear your pajamas, maybe catch a movie, we have a great selection of movies. Some of them I haven't watched it for a while. Some of them I didn't watch that at all. And I got caught up on the movies sometimes, and I ordered room service, and it's true 24-hour room service. It's not like 2 a.m. we stop. No, no, we keep on going the full 24 hours and a great menu at that as well.
And there's a fitness studio, spa, running track, pool, hot tub. You got everything that you would have on a larger ship, just on a slightly smaller scale,
On a
correct?
smaller scale, which is great because you know what? If you forget something, let's say you forget your towel and you're in the pool, you're like, I have to go back to my stateroom. I have to walk a mile. I have to cross the elevator. No, it's like it's right there. Your statement's right there, no matter where you are on the ship. Same thing with when you go to dinner. Let's say you forgot your purse. Let's say you forgot your key. It's like, oh no, everything is just right. It's so easily accessible. Um,
Sorry, I was just going to say that you obviously Atlas does Arctic and Antarctic voyages. You're really well known for your Epicurean voyages in Europe, but today I really wanted to get some time in to talk to you about your experience in Antarctica. So Atlas has a couple different voyage choices in Antarctica. From my understanding, there's a 5 night. There's up to an 18 night, but typically it hovers around 9 to 11 nights. Is that correct?
That's right. It's 9 to 11 nights. We You fly into Buenos Aires. We have a pre-hotel stay waiting for you. That's already included in the price. The hotel is right in the heart of Buenos Aires. It's in Puerto Madero, which that is kind of like think about like Rodeo Drive. Think about Lincoln Road in Miami. Kind of Times Square in New York. Obviously without the flashy lights and things like that. But it's kind of the heart. A lot of great restaurants, great walking distance, very safe neighborhood. So you can grab a great dinner right before you set off your adventure the next morning. Don't party too hard because the next morning we're picking you up at 4 o'clock in the morning.
Wow.
And we're taking you back to the airport so you catch a charter flight from Buenos Aires into Ushuaia. From Ushuaia, we have an excursion waiting for you, Tierra de Fuego, which is a national park, really beautiful national park, by the way. And you get to visit the southernmost mail station in the world. You send yourself
Oh,
a postcard. It's
yeah.
pretty fun. And then you board the ship around 2, and then you set sail to Antarctica after that. It's 2 days crossing the Drake, and then you're in the continent, and you actually set foot on the continent on the third day. On the first and second day that you're crossing the Drake, you get to be fitted for your parka. I'm wearing the vest. I'm in Florida right now, so I'm not going to wear the big parkas. I'll be sweating bullets in this podcast, but I did wear the vest, and that's great for you because a lot of times, a lot of folks think that in Antarctica it's really cold. I'm talking about sub-zero temperatures, but in actuality, it's about 35 to 40 degrees. Now, when you're moving, when you're walking around these glaciers, sometimes on these islands, it could get a little hot. So that's why we have this vest that obviously you wear your bottom layer, top and bottom. I recommend insulated ski pants. Has to be waterproof because we are going on the Zodiacs, and the Zodiacs do splash a lot of water. So definitely you want to wear something that's waterproof. But you have this vest on if you feel hot. I wore this vest when I was hiking. I wore the big parka when I was in the Zodiac cruising. And the Zodiac cruising, it's kind of think about it as a safari. You're there to see the animals. You're going to see whales like really up close and personal, like not that very far away from you from the Zodiac. There was actually a Zodiac that really saw the whale like right there. It was like maybe like 5 feet away from them.
Oh, wow.
But that's the experience that you see. You're going to see penguins, see the Gentoo penguin, the Adelie penguin. You're going to see the chinstrap penguin, and you're going to go where they nest, so the habitat. And fun fact, penguins are like salmon. They actually come back where the place that they were born to breed again and so forth and so on. So it's unique. They make this sound. Think about like Chewbacca, little Chewbacca, or little Chewbacca's all around. That's what they sound like. And it's fun. It's you get to see their habitat. You can see how cute they are. You can't touch them, but you can take a lot of pictures. Glaciers everywhere. icebergs at the sides of Manhattan skyscrapers. From that size to your house to maybe your car, like a school bus. Blue, all the great shades of blue. And tell a lot of folks are very maybe a little skittish about going to Antarctica. Keep in mind that if you've been to Alaska, you can go to Antarctica. It's not that strenuous. We do have different levels that we categorize the hikes or categorize kind of more strenuous activities. So if you're a beachcomber, can't do that much walking, we have a zodiac in place for you. If you want to go hike 4 miles, we have definitely something for you and everything in between.
Now,
This
you also have a pretty interesting experience that I know you've been there, done that, and got the t-shirt from. So do you want to tell our listeners about that?
I literally got the T-shirt. I did the polar plunge.
I can't even
So
imagine. That was epic. That must have been really an experience.
it was a terrific experience. You know what? Don't get me wrong, Kat. When I was down the stairway, on the stairwell, I was like rethinking my life. I was like, "What am I doing? I'm a Florida boy. I'm used to 81-degree water, like really bath water. And then I jumped into 31-degree water.
Wow.
So it was really cold. I out there
Yes.
really fast. But you know what? It's the thrill. It's the thrills, the adventure that goes into going on an Atlas voyage. We're calling the adventurers. And again, you don't have to run marathons, you don't have to like be really physically fit. What we're calling on is those folks that really want to get immersed, that really want to get into the weeds and the places that we're visiting, whether it be Antarctica, whether it be the Arctic, Europe, Caribbean, South America. And we're growing, like you said, and we're going to really unique destination, but you're going to see all these itineraries through a very different lens.
Now, as part of that, I know one of the things that I don't like when I get on a ship is when you constantly have to think about what else you need to do or what else you need to plan. And I know Atlas cares for all of that for you. Everything's included. All of your cultural immersion experiences, for the most part, are included. The lectures are included. Your food's included. So really, you walk on board, and it's an easy time to spend with your family or with your friends, and just really immerse yourself in the places that you get to go to.
That's right. And you know what I like about the experience? It's the ship is a vibe. It's not cruisy. We're going yachting and it's a vibe. Like you just said, it's a great time to catch up with friends. It's a great time to enjoy a drink or two, great food. And everything's taken care of. You don't have to worry about, well, what time is dinner? You don't have to worry about how much is this drink. You don't have to worry about, well, what do I have to tip? It's honestly everything's taken care of. The only thing extra that we have is to enhance your experience. So, for example, spas, not included. By the way, one of the best spa tables that I've ever been to. I mean, it actually reclines, like the whole thing reclines up, and there's like red light, blue light. It's great for your eyes and your face. It's great. I can talk about it forever. Um, but also other excursions, and maybe you don't want to. And like an Epicurean expedition, you're full. You don't want to see another food or wine. Maybe you want to visit a museum, so forth and so on. Those excursions would be extra, but again, it just enhances your experience. In Antarctica, everything would be included, but maybe you want to go camping in Antarctica. Maybe you want to do ice kayaking. Again, it just enhance your experience to just take a more deeper dive on these beautiful places that we're visiting.
Now, before we wrap up here, Andy, I did want to ask you, what are the times of year that you would head down to Antarctica or up to the Arctic? What would you recommend, or when does Atlas head over there?
So great question. So actually, we're going to Antarctica during the summertime. So that's why it's not sub-zero temperatures. It's like 35, 45-degree weather. So November through March, remember they're in the southern hemisphere, so it's opposite from us. So definitely November through March would be the perfect time to go to Antarctica. In the Arctic, now we're talking about the northern hemisphere, you're talking about June to September. Your thing to do is to see the northern lights, then definitely try to go more towards the late August fall time frame. We have a great itinerary that goes from Longyearbyen to the Greenland fjords. You will see the northern lights. Or we have actually a charter plane that leads from JFK to Greenland, to Kangalusak, and I hope I pronounced that right. That goes all the way up top of northern Greenland, so you can see the northern lights. We do have Iceland as well, June through August. So if you want to see Reykjavik or the entire country of Iceland or Norway, we do have that as well. And then
Well,
in this, in this, I was gonna say in this summertime, we also go to the Mediterranean.
yes. Well, I know I could talk to you all day because your expeditions are so much fun and so interesting and just such a great experience for our travelers. But we have run out of time, so we're going to have to schedule another time to talk about those Epicurean trips as well as the Arctic trips. But thank you for sharing a little bit with us today about the Antarctic and about what Atlas is doing there. I so appreciate your time today. Thank you.
My pleasure, Kat. Thank you much for having me.
Thank you, listeners. We look forward to speaking to you again. Bye-bye.